Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking about the Fosi Audio ZH3, a compact DAC, amp and preamp that I'm sure is going to shake up the budget hi-fi scene. I tested it with my Fosi i5 headphones and Audirvana on PC, and for around $200 it might just be the new budget champ. In today's video we'll cover the features, sound tests, pros and cons and my verdict. So hit that subscribe button and let's dive in. So what exactly is the ZH3? On paper it's a very versatile machine. This is not just an amp, not just a DAC. This is an all-in-one desktop solution that gives you high-res decoding, series amplification and preamp functionality, all in a sleek metal chassis. The look is clean and minimalist, a black aluminum case that feels sturdy without being flashy. The kind of gear you can slip into any desktop setup without it screaming for attention. It's small, about the size of a paperback book, so it won't hog desk space, and it's light enough to move around. Inside though it's surprisingly premium. At the heart of the DAC section is the AKM 4493 SEQ, part of AKM's Velvet sound series, known for a smooth, detailed presentation. For USB playback it uses the XMOS XU316 processor, a solid choice for stable high-res playback. The amp stage runs on 4 OPA 1612 op amps, keeping the output clean and low in distortion. Power comes from a standard 12V DC supply, so setup is as simple as plug and play. Connectivity is where the ZH3 really shines. On the input side you've got USB that supports PCM all the way up to 32-bit 768 kHz and even native DSD 512, which means if you're into high-res streaming or local lossless files, you're covered. Optical and coaxial inputs both handle up to 24-bit 192 kHz, so CD players, consoles or streamers fit right in. And there's a straightforward RCA line in, good for analog sources like a preamp turntable or a streamer. Outputs are equally generous. For headphones you get a 635mm single-ended jack rated around 640 mW per channel into 32 ohms, with distortion down to 0.00024%. But the star is definitely the 4.4mm balance output, which can push out a huge 2570 mW per channel into 32 ohms while keeping distortion under 0.00018%. In plain terms, it has more than enough power to comfortably drive everything, from sensitive IEMs to demanding planars. And if you want to use the ZH3 as a preamp, it's got you covered with both RCA single-ended and balanced XLR line outputs, letting you feed powered monitors or a speaker amp with plenty of headroom. Other nice touches include a clean OLED display that shows all the info you need, a full remote control for switching inputs, adjusting volume or changing settings from your chair. On top of that, the ZH3 supports multiple filter modes and gain settings to match headphones between 16 and 300 ohms. When you add it all up, you're getting flagship level specs in a sub $200 package. High-res support, balanced connections, a surprising amount of power and the versatility to run both headphones and speakers, all in one little box. So, the specs look great, but the real question is, how does it sound? For my testing I used the Fosi Audio i5 headphones, a neutral, comfortable set that I know very well. Audirvana on my PC handled playback, sending a USB signal directly into the ZH3 for a bit perfect path. I focused on 3 very different tracks to see how it performed across genres. Hard as a Drum by Beck for layered indie rock, Lonely Town by Freddie Hubbard for jazz texture, and Crazy Little Thing Called Love by Queen for that classic rock energy. On Hard as a Drum, the ZH3 balanced output impressed me right away. Beck's vocals had clear and intimate, while the acoustic guitar layers were crisp without smearing. The amp section kept the bass tight and controlled, and the overall presentation had a wide and airy soundstage that drew me into the recording. Compared to my regular i5 Zen 3, the highs felt a bit smoother with less digital edge, and there was no background hiss at all, just a clean, engaging listen that I could happily sit with for hours. Switching to Lonely Town, a jazz track full of nuance, the ZH3 showed off its low distortion character. Freddie Hubbard's trumpet sounded rich and brassy, with a natural decay that floated in the air. The upright bass had depth and texture, never bloated, and the piano chords had the right weight in the mids. The dynamic swings, from quiet brushes on the drums to the trumpet's peaks, were handled effortlessly. It had that slightly warm AKM flavor that keeps digital audio from sounding too sterile, which worked beautifully with this genre. Then came Crazy Little Thing Called Love. This track is all about rhythm and fun, and the ZH3 delivered. Handclaps and snares snapped with authority, the bass guitar locked in with speed, and Freddie Mercury's vocals cut through with clarity. Even on the single-ended output, it kept the groove lively, though going balanced gave the music more punch and separation. It was lively, clean and very enjoyable. Overall, the ZH3 sound is neutral but not clinical. It's detailed but with a touch of warmth. It brings out dynamics, maintains a wide stage and is never fatiguing. It's not pretending to be a $1,000 DAC amp stack, but for desktop listening it feels polished and refined beyond its price tag. Now let's talk about what works and what doesn't. I'll start with the quirks. The ZH3 uses an external power supply, which isn't a deal breaker, but does add some cable clutter compared to units with built-in power. Also, there's no Bluetooth or wireless option, and in today's world where many people expect to stream straight from their phone, that might feel limiting. And while there's an RCA line in, it's not a phono input, so vinyl lovers will still need a separate phono preamp before plugging a turntable in. But once you get past those limitations, the strengths are undeniable. The amount of clean power on tap for under $200 is kind of ridiculous. The balanced output has no problem driving demanding planars while still being quiet enough for sensitive IEMs. The DAC section delivers that smooth, slightly warm AKM presentation that makes long listening sessions a joy. Build quality feels solid, the OLED screen and remote are genuinely useful, and the setup is straightforward enough that even beginners won't be intimidated. Compared to most competitors, the ZH3 holds its own, and in terms of raw specs, it even outpaces some of them. What really stands out though is the sense of polish. It doesn't just throw numbers at you, it actually delivers an enjoyable listening experience that feels well above its price point. So yes, it has its quirks, but in daily use the positives so far outweigh the negatives that it's hard not to call this a killer deal. To wrap things up, the Fosi Audio ZH3 is a bit of a game changer in the budget DAC amp space. With balanced outputs, DSD-512 support, a clean and powerful amp stage and sound quality that's detailed yet musical, it shows you don't need to spend a fortune to enjoy great hi-fi audio at your desk. Sure, you give up some things like there's no phono stage, Bluetooth or wireless, but if what you want is a wired, versatile and compact hub for both speakers and headphones, it's hard to beat at this price. For me, it's an easy 9 out of 10 and a piece of gear I would recommend for anyone looking to seriously upgrade their desktop audio without breaking the bank. What do you think? Have you tried Fosi gear? Drop a comment below. Give this video a like if it helped and don't forget to subscribe for more reviews. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next one.